Hi, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association, and this week, the story behind the song, written by Rivers Rutherford and NSAI Songwriter of the Decade, Mr. Tom Shapiro. I'm going to call it the apostrophe song because there's a couple of apostrophes in the title.
That's true.
Nothing About You.
Nothing.
Nothing About You, yeah. Brooks and Dunn. So you and Rivers Rutherford get together, and we were talking before the interview. I've never heard a melody like this. You can usually say this song can kind of be compared.
Right.
Not on this one, man.
Well, on this one, on the opening part of the song, Rivers brought in the melody. I give him the credit because I was like, that was our first write together, and
really?
Yeah, very first write, and I later learned he didn't really want to do it, and I didn't really want to do it. It's just one of those things. But we hit it off. We're best friends, and now, and we write a lot.
Because the song, you would think, you're just simpatico. It's so tight. It's so.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It's an efficient song, I think, too, don't you?
Yes, I guess so. But it wasn't. The interesting thing about it, the idea came from me. This is how sometimes I do exercises, mental exercises, and this was a way of saying, how do you say, "I love everything about you"? That's all it was. I was actually in the shower, just and that came out. Okay, and I just filed away. I walk into the right. Rivers is there, and he's, did the usual talk, and then he plays this little melody he had, okay? And I just loved the melody. I thought it was great. A little first part of the verse, and I said, I have this idea I thought of this morning, and he goes, "You thought of this morning?" Like, he was kind of surprised. I said, "Well, yeah, I come up with an idea once in a while." Anyway, we wrote the first verse and chorus and the first write. Literally didn't think anything of it, okay? He leaves, my assistant comes in, he says, "What was that?" I said, "Oh, just something we're working on." He goes, "Can you play it for me?" I played it for him. He said, "That's a smash. Finish the song."
Because you guys, normally, you and Rivers both, you write a lot of songs, but you didn't know?
Didn't know.
Wow, because that surprises me, honestly, Tom, because
didn't.
First time I heard that thing on the radio, Lindsey Gums off camera over here that works for us, I almost have a wreck every time I hear it. I turn that thing up and I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da,
That's great. Well, he took it to, Rivers took it to his guy, Kent Earls. And Kent had the same reaction, said, "You guys got to get back together and finish the song." So we finally do. And still, the whole song just went, "Good day's work, buddy," shook hands, whatever. I went out of town. He demoed the song. He put it on his demo as a last-minute kind of thing. I came back 3 weeks later, was listening that night about 11 o'clock to a bunch of demos that had come in. This was the last one. At 11:30, I listened to this song. At 2:30, I stopped listening to it. That's when I knew. It took the demo.
Well, and I give Rivers credit. He performs the heck out of this thing. We did a trip a few weeks before we taped this to D.C. We did 25 appointments in 3 days. And it's another one of those, D.C., the congressmen are all kind of our age. They grew up with them. Brooks and Dunn expected that. Every 20-year-old staffer that's listening to hip-hop or pop or rock or Adele is at least singing the chorus to that song.
Great.
And they're da-da-da-da. It was a hoo-ha, man. Yeah. So,
and I hope buying it. No.
But you knew.
Okay.
Now,
yeah, I knew after the demo.
Brooks and Dunn cut it and record it, and that's part of this story as well.
Right. Well, to me, one of the most fascinating things, how delicate this business is Joe Galante, who was running RC at the time, heard it and said, "I want it for Brooks and Dunn. They need a first single. If they don't record it, I want it for another act, a minor act. I'm not going to say the name." And I didn't really want that, but I said, okay, it's whether Ronnie liked the song or not. Ronnie did like the song. In December, they had a 6 o'clock recording session. This is the interesting part, probably the most interesting part of the whole thing. At 6 o'clock, they went in to record this song, but said, before we record this, we have written a song called Only in America. We want to record that first. They recorded it. The sessions were from 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock. At 10 till 10, they finally got the final take on Only in America. And Ronnie goes, "We're done," and starts walking out. Mark Wright, who's the producer, said, "Well, Joe Galante had asked us to at least do this song." Ronnie was like, "Okay, we got 5 minutes. Let's do it. Because after that, I'm gone. What you hear on record is the first take, and that's his vocal. That is the scratch vocal. That is the record. They cut it.
Look at my jaw.
Yeah.
Well, he had to be glad that he hung around.
Well, once because I had musician friends who were there, and everyone knew when that happened. The magic had happened. And even Ronnie knew, too. It's like, oh, yeah.
And maybe that was part of it because...
urgency to it, maybe.
And the rawness of it, because you could have punched vocals and lost the rawness of that thing.
And maybe he was mad too.
Good. It comes through.
Whatever happened, that
what
passion.
What a record,
yeah.
man! What a record.
That's a great record.
Great story behind the song this week, written by Rivers Rutherford and our guest Tom Shapiro. Nothing About You, Brooks and Dunn. The rest is history. And this week for the Tennessean and the Tennessean.com.
Once I thought that love was something I could never do. Never knew that I could feel this much.